Hello everyone, it's CDA94581 here, but you can call me CDA. Today, we are here with a resource pack DIY Minecraft tutorial. We will be covering making custom fog, which at the time of recording, is a fairly new feature, added in 1.16.100, along with the /fog command. In this tutorial, we will explain making custom fogs to apply them with commands. So, let's get started. On screen right now is a list of timestamps you can use to jump around. In this tutorial, the main thing you need is a text editor. However, if you would like to download the vanilla resource pack and have a photo editor on hand, you can as well, which will help a bit. Please note I will be explaining things in terms of Windows 10, however it can be applied to Android and iOS as well. Each fog is created in a single .json file, so you need a text editor to write to the file. The built-in Microsoft Notepad works well enough, however it lacks many features other editors have. I personally use Notepad++, which has a plugin to format the file, making it nicer to read, plus color coding which helps a lot. The vanilla resource pack provides helpful examples on how things are done in the vanilla game. You really don't need it for this pack. However, the manifest.json and pack_icon.png files can be helpful to reduce the repetitive task. You don't really need the photo editor, however having a custom pack icon, which you can create with a photo editor, is really useful for distinguishing your pack from others. Finally, to prevent any accidental mistakes, make sure Show Hidden Files and File Name extensions are checked in the View settings. So to get started, navigate to the com.mojang folder. I'll have a link in the description explaining where you can find it. In there, navigate to the development_resource_packs folder. There is also a resource_packs folder, but we won't use that as that is for finished packs, while this folder is for packs still in development, as the name suggests. Create a folder, and name it whatever you want. Inside that folder, copy over the manifest.json and pack_icon.png files from the vanilla resource pack, and modify the name, description, and UIDs of the manifest, while you can modify the pack_icon.png to be unique to your pack. With that done, we can start making the fog. In the same folder as your manifest, create another folder called Fogs. Create a text document inside that folder and name it how you wish, with the file extension of .json. Open the file, and let's start writing the file. Type in a left and right bracket, and inside there, set a format_version value to the latest, which as of recording, is currently 1.16.100. Then, create a Minecraft fog_settings object, and then a description object inside. Inside that object, set an identifier value to a namespaced identifier. This makes your fog unique from others. The part before the colon is your namespace, which should be unique to you, and make sure you don't use Minecraft or Minecon as the namespace. The part after is the identifier, which again, makes the fog unique from all other things in your pack. Close off the description object, and now we have two objects we can create. We will just cover the simplest. I will have a link to the entire fog schema, or structure of the file, which will include all the objects you can add, in the description. So create an object called distance. As of recording, you now have 6 more options for objects you can choose from. All of the schema inside is the same. The options you have are air, weather, water, lava, lava_resistance, and powder_snow. Basically, these are what the fog will be like when the user's camera is inside that thing, which can change if you change perspective from first to third. Air is when it's in the air, or basically normal. Weather is when there is precipitation, like rain or snow. Water is when it's in water. Lava, in lava. Lava_resistance is when it's in lava and the player has a lava resistance effect on, like fire resistance. Powder_snow is when it's in a powder snow block, which is currently in the beta, so you shouldn't need it yet. For now, I will just create an air object, however feel free to add more. Each fog object has the same 4 values: fog_color, render_distance_type, fog_start, and fog_end. The fog_color value is a hexadecimal code, like #FF00FF for magenta. You can use many color pickers out there to determine the color. Make sure this value is encased in quotes, as it is a string. Render_distance_type can either be fixed or render. Fixed will be so the fog_start and fog_end values are the number of blocks, while render would mean the fog start and end, multiplied by the user's render distance. Make sure this is encased in quotes as well. Fog_start is where the fog starts, and fog_end is where it ends. These are floats, which means you can have up to 6 decimal places, like 0.123456. This also means you do not need quotes around the value. Now add these values for any other objects that you want to have. Finally, when you're ready, save it, then let's go test it out. Create a new world, and now we can add the pack to test. When we type in /fog at /push, followed by your fog's namespace identifier, and then another unique identifier that we can use to remove it, which you can set the same as your fog's namespace identifier, we should see we now have that fog effect over us. Congratulations! Let me explain the /fog command a bit more. When adding a fog, first you set who you want to add it to, which at s means self, or the user that executed it. Then, push tells the command you want to push a fog to the user, adding it. Afterwards, you input the fog's namespace identifier. Finally, you input a user identifier, which you can group together fogs with. The most recent fog you push is the fog that will appear. You use the user identifier to do more things with it, like removing and popping. To remove, you again set the target, but instead of doing push, you do remove. Then, you input the user identifier, which will remove all fogs associated with it. Popping is similar to removing, however it only removes the most recent fog added to that user identifier. If you want to export your pack to share, go back to your development_resource_packs folder, select the folder with your pack inside, and then send it to a zip file. Then, rename it to a .pack file. Move the folder you compressed out of the development_resource_packs folder for a backup, along with the .pack file, then double-click that compressed file. It should import, pop up in the resource_packs folder, and then you can apply it. Now you can share the .pack file with anyone, and they can import and use it as well. So that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments in general, feel free to let me know anywhere you can find me. Again, thank you all so much for watching, take care everyone, and I'll see you all next time.